So we have Tyrone Pan, who is the head of product at Bifrost. He'll be sharing about building liquid staking token use cases and Dapps with Bifrost. So yeah, Tyrone, welcome.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm on.
You can just head up to exactly where I'm standing right next to me. One more step forward. Yes, you're good. You're good right there.
All right.
Yeah, you can share your screen at the bottom bar,
All right.
and everyone will be able to see. Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thanks, Elton, for the hosting. Today, I'm gonna give you some example cases about how to use the XCM to interact with Bifrost and Moonbeam. So it's quite like the use case up on the liquid staking product and how to attract users to directly interact and mint the liquid staking token on Moonbeam side and interact via the XCM with Bifrost. So hope that's interesting. So I'm full screen my screen. So can you see this? Just to confirm.
Yep. We can see it.
You can see my full screen, right?
Yep, I can see.
Yep.
Yep,
All
I
right,
can see.
cool. All right. So first thing first, my name is Tyrone, and I'm the product manager and a council member of Bifrost. So Bifrost is a Kusama and Polkadot parachain, which taking charge for liquid staking and cross-chain, multi-chain liquid staking for different parachains and different external blockchains. So, for example, like is Ethereum and Bitcoin. So we are leveraging off XCM. Right now is XCM v3, right? So we are using the XCM v3 to transfer the message between different parachains, and we receive the message from other parachains, of course. And in the ecosystem, we are supporting substrate EVM and WASM. So, example like that's Gear, right? So Gear is like a WASM developing platform, and EVM and WASM we are both supporting for this. If we can deploy the contract on WASM, so definitely that's compatible, and on native token BNC. Okay, right now we've been initiated about 7 or 8. If you say 8, there's 8 liquid staking products in Bifrost, and we've accumulated around 37 million dollar on Bifrost. So in this liquid staking products, the maybe the special one for everyone is the V Mover and V Glimmer. So it's quite 2 of liquid staking derivative for Moonbeam and Moonriver. By the way, VDOT and the VKSM are natively Kusama and Polkadot liquid staking via the XCM staking to the Polkadot and Kusama relay chain. For Moonbeam and Moonriver, we build HRMP channel with Moonbeam and Moonriver. So the underlying logic of liquid staking is quite like we received the token, we received the Glimmer and Mover from Moonbeam and Moonriver, and then we're using a staking liquidity pallet to send the message and the token to Moonbeam and Moonriver to stake under the collator. So once we stake right there, the Bifrost will have a message know about the stake is succeed, so we can generate a vToken for users. So that's how the simple logic of how the user get a liquid staking token on Bifrost. So here's a problem. Okay, so if you are the user, native user, if you are a native user of Moonbeam Moonriver, and you're very familiar with EVM, but not very interested with substrate, so how you can mint some liquid staking token on Moonbeam and Moonriver? So that's the question that we want to bring it out and solve it today. Is we are actually deploying the contract of this liquid staking pallet on Moonbeam and Moonriver EVM. So which means users can directly interact with the contract. So the contract will communicate with Bifrost via the XCM, and the user can directly receive that liquid staking token on Moonbeam and Moonriver effortlessly. And they don't have to come to the Bifrost and mint vToken of Bifrost and cross it back to Moonbeam. So that's something I want to bring out today. Okay. So liquid staking versus on-chain staking is quite like a simple explanation about what's the advantage of liquid staking. So low opportunity cost, which means definitely liquid staking means the liquidity inside of the liquid staking derivative. And lower risk of slashing. It depends on the mechanism of Bifrost to select the validators. So I can show you. Let's take an example like maybe BKSM is a good example. So if you check in the validator, sorry about it. If you check the validator section, so there's the whitelist under the section, and we have a bunch of validator that's selected by the mechanism of scoring. So it depends on how much of the score of each the validator gets. So if they get higher rank, so they might get into the so you might get into the validator list, and you can see where's the commission is another factor to depends how many score they can get. So and slash history of validator is quite like a whitelist, and anyone can propose on Bifrost to explain to the community why the validator is the advantage for Bifrost ecosystem. So you can jump into the whitelist by the governance, or you can be automatically select via the mechanism. All right. So flexible redemption period. All right. So that's another interesting thing. The small function, but it's significant advantage of Bifrost vToken. Okay. Taking the example of vMover. So let's say, all right, the vMover normally the vMover unstaking period is 2 days, so 48 hours. But why it is 0 to 2 days? Because we have a mechanism behind is to match the orders of staker and unstaker. So let's say if someone initiate unstaking order for one vMover, and the other one initiate an order of staking one mover, so they are matched, and the redemption order can be automatically and immediately executed. So which means you take no unstaking period in this section. So that's the advantage of a Bifrost liquid staking product. And multiple strategies in DeFi is quite like some use cases in substrate use cases, in different parachains, and EVM use cases with interact with a different contract. Okay, here's some specific explanation on each of the advantages. Okay, flexible redemption I mentioned about, and cross-chain liquidity is something I will introduce in the cross-chain XCM contract to explain you how to interact with Bifrost and Moonbeam. And the governance capability is what we are developing right now. So we want to give the red bike to the user who holds vGlamour or vMover, so they can still participate in the governance of Moonbeam and Moonriver. So if you are a vGlamour or vMover user holder, so you can still get into the governance of Moonbeam and Moonriver. So that's the meaning of this function, as well as Kusaman and Polkadot. They are the same. So Bifrost well played as a delegating governance character for user. The rise of liquid staking is recently the market trend on this we can say DeFi track, right? So liquid staking came to the top recently, and which takes over Dapps, lending, bridges. So we don't introduce it in the details for this part. Okay. Use case is built on top of the liquid staking token. Okay. There's some mostly some DeFi use cases. So liquid staking token aggregators. So you can make the front end or the Dapps to aggregate different types of liquid staking, Lido, Rocket Pool, Bifrost, and some other liquid staking token into one. So collateral-based protocols like lending and borrowing, and the indexes protocol. If you ever played with Pendo or something like what's the name, LSDX, or this new LST products. So they are making a basket of different liquid staking token to package them into one, into an index. So this index protocols, and interest rate is quite like separate the interest rate of liquid staking token and the principal of liquid staking token. So some different use cases, some ideas for stimulating some use cases building. What are the current issue of liquid staking? So limited composability, definitely. Not quite a lot of use cases for liquid staking token because they are not standardized, right? The different liquid staking token have their different mechanism. You cannot standardize them. So definitely the use cases are limited and solid liquidity. That's also the problem that if we separate liquidity into different blockchains, so definitely they are reducing the liquidity in one concentrated spot. So if we take an example like Lido, right, they are big in the curve, but if you separate to a polygon to different blockchains, so the liquidity is not concentrated in a spot. So why are we initiating an XCM case to solve the previous problem? So if we imagine that different users in different parachains or different environment can trade or swap in a concentrated liquidity via the XCM. So maybe the concentrated liquidity is in Bifrost. So the users on Moonbeam can directly swap via the XCM in the Bifrost AMM in a concentrated liquidity. So, and different parachains, they can do it as well. So that's how it works in the underlying to benefit users and benefit for the concentrated liquidity. So the XM is so important for Bifrost, and there's some benefits: no centralized rate, quick reaction, cross consensus development. Yeah, the important thing is the XCM v3 that we just upgraded. So there's a new function in the XCM v3 is very important for Bifrost. It's query response. The query response, like if we query an event in the destination parachains, right now we can get the result of the event. So it succeed or it's failed. So the query response is very convenient function for Bifrost in the v3. So we upgraded it. So the staking liquidity palette is also upgraded. We can get the result from the destination parachain. So once we stake the asset to the relay chain, we can get the result from the relay chain. So the liquid staking token can be automatically generated to users. But before that, we use the multisig, like a multisig service for users, and we monitoring the status of a relay chain to get the message, get the result back to Bifrost, and then we can generate the vToken for users. So that's the differences between XCM v2 v1 to v2 to the XCM v3. All right. So this is the main topic of a brief intro to the new, we name it SLPX, the previously named XCM-Action palette. This is a palette that using the XCM to interact with A* and Moonbeam right now. So here's a workflow of how it works. So on Bifrost, okay. So on A* or Moonbeam side, so if you are a native user, you're required to mint a vToken. So the liquid staking token of Bifrost is vToken. You're required to mint a vToken, and you interact with SLPX contract. Okay, the contract will calling the SLPX palette via the XCM to Bifrost. So SLPX will automatically call the liquid staking palette on Bifrost. So calling it mint token to vToken. So the SLP palette will mint the vToken and transfer back to the SLPX palette, and then it will send the vToken back to the user via the XCM and query the result if the transaction is succeed or not. So that's the simple logic workflow of this SLPX. Yeah, we have some example and a demo for you. I will show you after this presentation. Okay, I think there's 2 pages more. So what's next? Some use cases. Cross-chain liquidation is something like cross-chain liquidation is something like we replace the function here requires to mint vToken, replace this function to requires to swap token A to token B. So let's say the liquidated token is the token A. Okay, so you need to swap the token A to token B. and there's the liquidity pool on Bifrost set. So the SLPX contract can call the SLPX pallet on Bifrost, and the pallet will call the swap pallet, and the token A will be swapped to token B and sent it back to user by XCM. So that's how the liquidation works. Omnichannel LST definitely like a basket of different liquid staking derivatives into one, and LST indexes. I think I've mentioned about this. All right, so we're taking dips to some example of how to interact with the contract on the SLPX contract on Moonbeam. Okay. All right. Okay. So we stop here. We are using the A-star environment, custom A-star environment to describe this, but is same with the Moonbeam. So here is the in the blue button of this address is a ERC format of address on of SLPX contract on Moonbeam. Okay, so and below there are some functions we can keep going it. Okay, so we are connected with MetaMask. There's some asset of A star and VA star, so we can see the numbers of this asset, and then we can see how it interact with minter and the redeemer after the execution. All right, there's 10 VA star at the beginning, and address of SLPX contract, and some functions like mint V asset. So mint V asset is like on Moonbeam. Okay, take an example on Moonbeam. So maybe V dot and V file is something vToken for Moonbeam, but the V glimmer is something like V native token on Moonbeam. So it's the differences between mint V asset and mint V native asset. So there's the differences. Okay, we put the value, the number of how much of VA star that we want to mint. So VA star for A star is the native token. So that's the reason why we mint V native asset for this. Okay, this pending in the transaction. Yep. And we go to this is it's the Bifrost Polkadot in the custom. So there's a message about so token 2 to 3 is the VA star that registered on Bifrost, and here it shows how many of VA star have been minted. But you might need to ask why it is not 10. So it's like 9.9 VA star. So it actually includes the XCM transaction fee inside of this. But Bifrost support the transaction fee can be paid by BNC or native token or other token like A star. So if you pay it as the A star, so the mint amount might be smaller, might be lesser than the minting amount that you put into in the original. Okay, so on Bifrost set is the this is message. This is a message that shows you successfully minted. All right, on A star set, there's also message, okay, the VA star have been issued on A star. Okay, we get back to there and to check the wallet. Okay, this is the status that the transaction haven't been executed. The MetaMask, there's a delay, so wait for a second, and all right, so we can see there's the 9.9 plus into our original balance. Okay, so next step, we need to the V asset address is something the let's say V glamour address is something like a token address on the Moonbeam EVM. So this redeem asset, before the redemption, you need to register the asset. So in this record is being registered before this recording. So we take it straight. All right, the redemption is executing on a Moonbeam on the A star set, and it's pending. All right, and we go to check the status on. Okay, in the wallet, so there's 9.9 decreased, and the event in Bifrost. And even on its stock. And the last one is a swap function in this contract. So the swap executing via the XCM. All right, succeed. And okay, on Bifrost set, you can see that. Okay, oh, you can see that the token 2 to 3 have been swapped to vToken 2 to 3. And the vToken 2 to 3 have been issued. All right, have been issued on A star set. So as well as Moonbeam, the same use cases with is A star one. All right, and sorry. So there's a documentation of SLP DAX. So there's some logic on the product front and some details of achievements on the technical implementation. All right, like I can share this documentation in the group, okay, in the space, and thank you, everyone. You can scan the QR code. I think this is something is something or group. Okay. All right.
All right. All right. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Tyrone. Guys, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat right now. No questions. All right. Okay. Then yeah, thanks Tyrone. So thanks Tyrone and thanks Kevin for the great sessions today. Two amazing workshops today. Both Kevin and Tyrone will are in the Discord as well. So if you have any questions, to pop them there. They will be able to address them. Yeah. Yes. All right. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us today. Yeah, I'll see you guys here again, same time, same place tomorrow. And thanks.